Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Glom Swaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche Swaha. Durge Durge Rakshini Thatha Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabhanjanaya. Sukham Kuru Kuru Phat Swaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 19th of January 2026. I want to offer Anantakoti Namaskaram, Anantakoti prostrations, Danvat Pranam, and Pradikshana, as well as infinite beautiful flowers at the feet of all the great sages and at the feet of the one supreme Parabrahma, Paramatma, Parameshwari, one ultimate Tattva that we call Bhagwan or God, and to that same Paramatma residing everywhere at all times, in every place, in the heart of every being. Ishvaraha Sarva Bhutanam. We are continuing by Krupa, only by Krupa, of all great sages in the last 10,000 years, plus more, and by the Karuna Kataksh, Bhagavad Krupa, that we together are having this extraordinary opportunity to unfold the realization of Atman, Brahman, Paramatma through Nitya Satsang, through bhajans, kirtans, mantras, etc., done right starting from 7 a.m. until 8:20, and then through this exposition, which is Gnan Yagna. It is a yagna to listen to these ideas, for Sachin to talk about them. It is a yagna for this person. It is a yagna for all of you. These ideas are not created by Sachin. They are a synthesis from thousands of years of extraordinary truths, extraordinary ideas, and many, many sadhanas that have come from parampara, generation to generation, and are being presented here without any kind of divisiveness. So to continue from our last several weeks, we are trying to understand clearly, because that is the first layer, is the clarity of understanding. That is the information that is being presented. Is it understood clearly? This is the first point. The information that we are presenting, that is being presented, is about Upāsanā and Ishta Bhakti, Ishta Devata ki Bhakti. Many recordings have already been created on this, and we're going to go further today with three words that most people in Indian tradition, Hindu tradition, are familiar with, and that is Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Sat is a Sanskrit word, and Satyam is also a Sanskrit word. It's absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful word. What is Satya versus what is Asatya? So I'll give you an example. I'll just use my own life as an example. You'll have to use your life as an example, and world in general, universes in general. From the point of conception of the sperm and the egg, the ovum and one sperm cell, when it combines together in the mother's womb, from that point, let's just start at that point, there is biological Satyam. Isn't it so? 23 chromosomes from each parent. They come together, 46 chromosomes, and then the cells begin to grow. The zygote, it's called a zygote when you have the combination, one cell is called zygote. And from that, the entire body develops based on the genetic blueprint. What is this called? This is genetic, cytogenetic. It is eventually epigenetic and behavioral epigenetic, Satyam. It is truth. It is truth that is perceived through our senses. Biologically, it is a biological Satyam. Isn't it so? This is one layer. And that biological Satyam, Satyam meaning, it means, how can we say it? That which is the quality of being, that which is immutable. Immutable in what sense? That the facts, F-A-C-T-S, the facts are the facts. They're not anybody's opinion. They're not a biased opinion. They're not just a perspective. They are the actual reality itself. So the Satyam that of the body, we're just talking about the body right now, it is what it is. It is not a question of opinion or perspective. Perspectives and opinions are about what is perceived. But what is perceived is not the full facts, the full reality. No. It is not the full reality. It is our perception of some part of that reality. Reality with a small r and reality with a capital R. The reality, meaning Satyam with a capital S or capital R, that is Brahman. The reality with the small s or with the small r, that is everything under Prakriti. I hope that makes sense. So that is true for this body, which started with one cell. So we're going to stay with that example. And as the body develops, and eventually comes out of the mother's womb, and then eventually mind begins to develop. Life experiences begin to accumulate. Our ego begins to develop. Antakaran begins to develop. And as time goes on, we have perceptions of others. Others have perceptions of us. None of that is Satyam. It is not 100% Satyam. It is partial. Some of it may be grasping some of the Satyam, but not 100%. There is only one being that knows the 100% Satyam about who we are, and that is Bhagavan. Nobody else can know it. Nobody else will know it. Nobody else has the capacity to know it. How is it possible? For example, just right now, within the last 5 minutes, I've had so many different thoughts and different ideas and images. Who knows that? Even I may not be aware of it completely. It is only the Ishvara residing inside the Atma as Sakshi who knows everything. That is why Bhagavan is called Sarvagna. Or in Hindi we say Sarvagya. In Sanskrit we say Sarvagnya, or Gujarati Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya. That's probably the right pronunciation in Sanskrit. Bhagavan hi Sarvagnya hai. Nobody else. What we have about each other are distorted images. J. Krishnamurti talked a lot about this. I'll just use myself as an example, but that's just the way life goes. There are images about who is Sachin. All of you, for example, who are coming here every day, many other people that I know in my life and in your lives also in the same way. Whatever somebody knows about Sachin, Jay, Karnik, whatever it is, good, bad, neutral, XYZ, it is a distortion. It's not the reality. No way. Whatever Sachin knows about all of you, it's a distortion. It's not the reality. It is some fragment based on what is projected, what is seen, what presented, what is talked about, what is written about, things like that. For example, in my life, as some of you know, I went through very serious difficulties in many years in the past. It's all taken care of now. It's been taken care of for a long time. But, a lot of damage occurred, a lot of problems occurred. A lot of things are there, internet and this and that. So much stuff. Is that Satyam? Obviously not. It is a distortion. When newspapers write articles, they don't write the full truth about anybody for that matter. They write to sensationalize, to sell, they distort things. All the time it happens throughout the world. Even, that's just one example. But our relationship structures are distorted. We think we know somebody, that's not the actual person. Absolutely not. I'm just using myself as an example, not for any ego or anything, just as an example only. Sachin has mother living in India, mother of the body. I have an image about her. That's not actually her. No. The image inside my brain, inside my mind, about my mother, Rajini Karnik, that's not her. That image inside my mind. Whatever the image may be, it has some truth behind it. Maybe only 1% or less than 1%. 99% of it is false. Why is it false? Because it is coming from my perception, from my own vision, my own opinions, my own biases. And now, maybe it's not 99%, maybe it's 90% is false. I don't know what the percentage is. Only God knows that. But my image of my mother is not my mother. The actual being, every thought she's ever had, every action she's ever taken, every internal phenomena, including her physical body, mind, who knows that? Anybody knows that? Can anybody know that? No. Nobody can know that. This is why the entire Santa Parampara in Sanatana Dharma is very, very clear about Satyam. There are three words: Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. बहुत इस पर मनन करना is worth really going into this, and we will see how this links into our Ishta Upāsanā. The one thing that we do have is the capacity to try to see ourselves as we are, meaning as the mental framework is, because it is revolving and spinning and it's going in so many directions. We have a lot of difficulty seeing who we are, because we see ourselves, meaning not the Atma we're talking about, the mental framework. We see it through the lens of Ahankar. It's called Aham, Jivam, Granthi. If you're taking notes, please write these three words down. These are three words for today. बहुत इसका depth meaning है. I'll try to explain it in a straightforward way. Please write it down. Sachin की बहुत आप सबको प्रार्थना है, heart से प्रार्थना है, आप लिखो. Write these notes down. The recordings are there, but you know what happens, or we hear something, okay, sounds something interesting, and then it's gone, and then we just go on with our lives in our own distorted ways. That should not happen. Our destination is to reach Jivan Mukta Sthiti, living 100% liberation, Mukta Sthiti, Ananda. Ananda का अखंड अनुभव इसमें जाना है. वो destination clear, and in that अनुभव वो भगवान का ही वो अनुभव है. This is point, right? That should be very clear. Or इसमें प्रेम. So this प्रेम लक्षणा bhakti, Jivan Mukta Sthiti, they are bridged together. They are only one. That is our destination. But to reach that destination, we have to be clear, absolutely crystal clear about the concepts and ideas in Sanatana Dharma. So today's concept is Aham Jivam Granthi. इसका meaning क्या है मैं बताता हूँ. I'll try to explain it. Aham means what? Me, I. Jivam, the word Jiv means Atma plus the three bodies and all of the evolutes of Maya. That is called Jiv. The word Atma by itself means it's a separate Satchidananda, separate being from the three bodies, the three avasthas, the three gunas, the life and death cycle. It is completely always separate. So there are two more words that go along with this, that is called Anvay and Vatirik. Write it down, Anvaya, and the second word is Vatirik. What do they mean? Very easy to understand. Anvay means immanent, within the three bodies as me. The Jivatma says, I am this physical body, I am Sachin, I am my mind, I am my thoughts and my feelings and my biases, my distortions and my impression. That's me. That sense of me, aham jivam, is constantly going on. It goes on without break. It has a purpose also. But that's not the reality. वो सत्य नहीं है. It is a relative reality. It is not paramarthika satyam. It is not the actual satyam of the Atman. What is actually satya with the capital S? That is Atman and Brahman. That is eternal. This is an identity that is taken on. This physical body का जो creation है, that is physical body, mental body, and all of the different experiences that are going on internally, that is created through Prakriti for each Jivatma to experience its binding within Prakriti. That is why the bodies are created. But they're not created only to experience the binding. They are created as an opportunity, particularly the human body, as an opportunity for liberation, for sakshatkar, Bhagavan or Atma ka sakshatkar. Okay, let's go slowly. Aham jivam granthi. Understand this word, aham, jivam. Now the third word is granthi. Granthi means knot. K-N-O-T. Are there knots inside of us? Yes. I'll give you just my own example. Sachin says, okay, what do people think about me? Let them think what they have to think. But is that important? Maybe to some extent. Am I clear about truth? What is my truth? If Sachin is clear about Satyam, then it's just a matter of duty how I should present it. Whatever the Satyam may be. It could be anything, right? Satyam is at the mental level. There's physical Satyam. Like when you go to a doctor and they do the blood test. What is that? It is a biological truth. If the A1C is very high or the blood pressure is high or this is off or that is, isn't that truth also? It is a relative truth, but it is a biological level of truth. Physical level of truth. Sthul sharir. The psychological level of truth is much more difficult to grasp. वो बहुत difficult है. It's difficult even if a person is genuinely trying to see that without bias. बहुत difficult है वो. Because it is subtle. We have our sense of me, the ego, that wants to see ourselves and present ourselves in the best way for what others are going to think about us, how they see us and things. This is how we live our life. Isn't it so? When you go for an interview, you want to put on a nice suit and put on some cologne or perfume or this and that and have a nice resume and you're trying to land the job and you have to present your best. You're not going to talk about the 30 problems and arguments you've had in your life. We don't ever tell the truth. We don't. And we should not also. That's another interesting thing. Some people say you should tell the truth all the time. But in Shikshapatri, Shriji Maharaj has given that guideline. Do not bring out unnecessary facts, even they may be true, that are going to cause you damage, cause other people damage, or cause a lot of embarrassment, cause unnecessary wastage of time. ऐसा जो सत्य है वो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. People say you should speak the truth all the time, but that's not true. That's not actually recommended. Yes, one needs to know for oneself exactly the content of the mind. That is what J. Krishnamurti talked in his whole life about. Choiceless awareness. Choiceless awareness is, if you have not written those two words down, write it down. In Angel Wing, we will cover that in probably this year, maybe next year sometime in detail. It's a very profound thing. I have created a whole book on J. Krishnamurti. 820-page book is there. To be in a state of pure awareness is to see, is to remember the facts, F-A-C-T-S, without distortion, bias, or entanglement. But when we are talking to others, we have to be selective. Because Sachin cannot just throw out all kinds of stuff in front of other people. No, we talked about this yesterday. How to use our speech in the right amount, right way. We talked about it many times. It's application. We may understand Satya Priya Hitkari. We talked about that yesterday. truthful, beneficial, pleasing. All those ideas have been discussed before. Is it being applied? That's the question. So when we use the word Satyam, Satyam is at 4 different levels. One level is the physical body's level. We understand that, the physiology of the body and etc., right? The breathing rate and lung volume and all those kinds of things, whatever it is, blood pressure, contents of the body, what is in our stomach, how much food we've eaten. Right now, Sachin is speaking, there's a biological phenomena going on. That is called Satyam. At the biological level, it is relative. It is not Paramarthika Satyam, it is a relative level. Okay, that's biological. Next is psychological, much more difficult to grasp. And the only person who can really even come close to grasping it is yourself and through prarthana. Now, this is the other point. Bhagwan ke saath jab hum connection karte, when we are connected to Paramatma through Ishta Bhakti. Ishta Bhakti means Stotra, Mantra, Shastra, connected to one Swarup. As Upasya Swarup, others are Pujya. We've talked about a lot about that. That should be very clear at this point. So when that is being done, what will happen as we move further, as we move further in Upāsanā, as we move further in the Upāsanā of Bhagwan, our awareness of the Antakarana, of our personality, of our content, of our experiences, the TEMDE, thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. Because remember, the angel wing program is where it borders off. This is where we begin here, right? So there's 2 different programs here. And so they are connected completely together. So where the angel wing program borders off, this is where we begin. बहुत ध्यान रखना. So the TEMDE, if you have not written that down, please write that down. Thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. You can see it right on your hand. Put the thumb at the bottom. Thoughts, emotions, memories, desires, and energy. Shakti. And beyond all 5 of them is the Atman or Brahman or God. Right? So this is the point. So the awareness of the TEMDE increases tremendously in Upāsanā. For example, just take Shiv. Shiv ji ki Upāsanā karni hai, bhakti karni hai unki, karo. How do we do it? Very straightforward, right? Shivling hona chahiye, murti honi chahiye, or picture, Shiv Parivar, Bhagwan Shankar, उनकी जो महाशक्ति जो देवी है, and Ganesh ji. Sometimes Kartik Swami is there also. Full Shiv Parivar. Keep a photo, have a small shivling, and then mantra karna. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Bhagwan ke saath prem karna. As we continue the sadhana, Shiv Puran and other ashtaks and so many stotras, mantras, shastra, all 3 are there. I won't go into all that right now. But as an example, that is our laser-like focus. Destination is Shiv, 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 Shiv. If Krishna is there, the destination is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Destination is Devi, then Devi, Devi. But you have to have, for higher sadhana, Guru hone chahiye, Devi Upasana ke liye. And if you don't have Guru, Bhagwan Shankar ko Guru bana dena. Do more Namah Shivaya mantra, little less Shakti mantra, and then by his kripa you can increase it slowly. You will know automatically. Isme main point itna hi hai Devi Upasana mein, is quickly to mention. Isme koi deficiency nahi honi chahiye in sadhuta. In the saintliness, there should not be deficiency. Otherwise, you cannot do the Devi Upasana at higher level. We bhakti kar sakte, but wo jo 51,000 times, 200,000 times jo mantra chanting jo karte, isme sadhuta bahut important hai. Otherwise, some diversions can happen. I don't want to go into that. Leave that subject aside. When you are focused completely on one Swarup, one main mantra, and one main Shastra. Lila Charitra scripture and the Tattvagnan Shastra is Bhagavad Gita for everybody. Other scriptures are there, they're connected, right? This is our base. Now, this should be very clear. Now, as we continue this journey in Navda Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, we've covered this before in the past recordings. As we continue this journey, the wisdom comes, oh, this is inside of me. This desire is here. This thought is going here. This memory is here. This internal vortex that is spinning because we're alive. We become aware of that. We become aware that what is happening. So when we are engaged in Upāsanā of Bhagwan. And please remember now, hopefully all of you are getting these points connected together. Upasana means Sakara Sarvopari Pratyakshan Karta Harta. These 4 points, we've covered it before. That with that faith, Shraddha and understanding, Bhakti continues. That is called Upasana. Upasya is the Ishtadevata. Upasana is the happening process of connecting with the Ishta, and Upasak is us, the person that is doing the Upasana. Alright, so that all should be clear. So as we continue this journey, we will know what is our ahankar. Hamara jo nij ahankar hai, aham jivam granthi will become, it will pop out and say, oh, this is the granthi. I'm getting stuck here. My mind is getting stuck here. My emotions are trapped somewhere. My worries are here. My tensions are here. My fears are there. Somebody said this and I'm thinking about that. I have this image popping up of this person in the mind. All of this vortex that keeps coming up as a distraction in the connection with Ishta Devata, that is called Maya. Garada Pratham 1. Vachanamrut. I hope this point is clear. If it's not clear, Sachin is here to try to dialogue on this point. Not that I have all the answers, but we can find the answers. If it's not clear, get it clear. I'm telling myself, not telling anybody else. So it would be a mistake for me as a sadhak to think, that I understand all this thing. Wrong. That's one of the biggest mistakes we can make. I heard many years back in the Philadelphia BAPS Mandir, years back, when Puja Mahant Swamiji Maharaj, who is the current guru of BAPS, he was in that satsang. Satsang was not developed like this at that time. This was smaller, much smaller groups were there. And I remember this very well. It stayed with me for years. The last 20 years it has stayed with me. I'll share it with you. उन्होंने एक बात सुंदर बात की थी. He says in satsang, as we continue this journey towards God, 2 big obstacles are there. One big obstacle is that what's new in this? Sab ek hi baat hai, same thing again and again. And I already understand it. Obstacle number 1. Major obstacle. Major obstacle. It's the same thing is being repeated again and again and again. It's even though it is being repeated, many ideas are repeated, they are not filtered inside. So the opening that needs to happen doesn't happen. Mind turns it into a repetition. That's a huge obstacle. And the second obstacle is that I already know everything. I have a lot of verbal knowledge. Lot of verbal knowledge, and that's necessary. We need to have it. We need to have the repetition, but it can be an obstacle also, because we falsely believe. Mushko to malum hi hai sab. Ishvaraha sarvabhutar. I know these verses. I know the Upanishad. I know this. I. You don't know anything. 2 major obstacles. There's an analogy that Swamiji gave. He says if you have a high tension electric wire, lot of massive electricity is going through. And if you touch it with your bare hands, you will become electricity. It's like that. You'll just be burned in. You'll be connected, completely connected. You'll be finished, right? Think of God as that higher tension inner wire. We want to touch God, not in terms of like burning ourselves, but we want to be Bhagavad Swarup. Bhagavad Swarup banna hai. Bhagwan ka Swarup banna hai. Brahma Swarup banna hai. ठीक है? But if you are wearing these special gloves, it's insulation. They have some kind of gloves that the electricians can touch the high electricity flowing through. Nothing will happen to them. This like that. Ye jo aham or mamatva. This the feeling that I know everything. This is the same thing is being repeated again and again. These are the 2 gloves of ajnan. And by that we're trying to touch scriptures and satsang and mantras and stotras. Iska connection nahi hota. You have to remove those gloves. That I know everything. Sachin is speaking here every day by grace of God and all of your krupa. Biggest danger for someone who is doing expounding. I know everything. I already know this. I understand it. I. Bilkul nahi. Ye baat false baat hai. That's not the reality. That is not Satyam. And it's very easy to be caught up. I had met one time somebody from Mumbai, who had come. So he was a great Pandit actually, Brahmin fellow, Marathi Brahmin fellow, who came to our house. I'm talking about like 25, 30 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. And he had memorized entire Bhagavad Gita and 3 Upanishads. And he was giving lectures all over the world. He had them completely memorized. A very humble fellow, very holy, and his humility bahut thi unme. Very good quality. We appreciate his accomplishment. Is it easy in Sanskrit to memorize 3 Upanishads? I think Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Prashna. I don't remember the names exactly, but he had 3 of them completely memorized. And the entire Bhagavad Gita memorized in Sanskrit. What's the danger? Who in the world has that? And it's very easy. Not very easy, but it's relatively easy to say, okay, I have this. And then you want to tell somebody else, right? And that's fine also. You want to share the knowledge. But then what happens? Bade Pandit ji aaye hai, pravachan kijiye, ye kijiye, wo kijiye. Karo, share karo. Now what happens? What happens in that? What can happen? Not that happened with that person. I'm just using that as an example. Without we realizing it, the person will say, Mujhko to malum hai. Every question anybody asks, I can answer this question. Ahankar. We don't realize. Iska aham aa jata hai. My God. There are kathakars, For example, Puja Murari Bapu. I think some of you may be familiar. A lot of controversies about him. We won't go into that. There's a controversy about everybody in life, looks like. But I'm quite sure he has entire Ramcharitmanas memorized. He has it all complete. He's remembered a long time back. Very nice. It's a great accomplishment. But when there is a great accomplishment, the credit has to go to one's Guru Parampara, and to Bhagwan. Don't keep it that ahankar that comes hold of this. This is a problem. That I know this. For example, Sachin says, I repeated this verse so many times. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara sama sukha dukha kshami. This is from chapter 12. Many you've heard me say this over and over and over and over again. I'll keep saying it over and over again. Is it true that Sachin knows the verse? Yes. The mind knows it. Does it mean that Sachin is 100% living that? Absolutely not. I don't even know what the percentage is. Only God knows that. We try our best. Bhagavan knows what is the percentage. And this is another interesting point. Always remain in that state that there's much more here. Much more to grow and learn. Never feel in spiritual path, I've got it all. Impossible. No way. No way. Impossible. बड़े बड़े संतों के साथ हम रहे हैं. They are actually Brahma Swarup saints, and they themselves say, we have been contemplating on the Gita and Vachanamrutam, and we still cannot touch the surface of this. This is called Aham Shunya Bhav. Even though they have gone into it and they are living with God continuously, Ahankar kaisi baat hai? Aham Shunya Bhav. Never feel. I'm telling myself, I'm not telling anybody else. I have to tell myself this thing. Never say inside that I know the scriptures. We may know them verbally. Is it iska anubhav? The only barometer is akhanda ananda, unbroken ananda. That is the anubhav of Shastra. And that is not any, iska bhi ahankar nahi aana chahiye. In Vachanamrut, there is a statement made by Shriji Maharaj, Bhagwan Shri Swaminarayan. वो क्या कहते हैं? It's something that is mind-boggling statement. You will not find it. I don't think you'll find it in any shastra. Only in Vachanamrut ये है. क्या बात लिखी? I'll tell you what it is. He said, Maharaj said about himself, who Brahmachu, I am Brahman, because he's enlightened being. इन ऊपर कोई भार નથી. You know what that means? कैसे इसको डिस्क्राइब करेंगे? When Brahman is realized, जीवन मुक्त स्थिति आ जाती है. Let's say, assume for a moment for all of us here online right now and those listening later on, वो स्थिति आ गई है. And there is ananda. And anybody who comes around you, it's like, wow, what an amazing saint. Kya aapka darshan. People are praising. They feel so much bliss and peace and this, and by presence, not because of words, because of presence. Aisa hoga. That's okay. No problem. Let it happen. If it happens, let it happen. Don't run away from that. But watch out for the ego. That I am a Jivan Mukta. Iska I, meaning the ahankar, tries to grab hold of that sthiti, and then it identifies with the praise that is coming from others. Finish. That will drown the person back into aham jivam granthi. I have seen very big saints, real sthiti mein hai, unko log bhakto dandvat karte, meaning they're doing the prostrations. Hundreds of people are doing. वो ऐसे ही है, कोई फर्क नहीं उसमें. It's so. Can you imagine how difficult that is? All it requires are 5 people to say, Sachin, you're very knowledgeable. Sachin, you're a very good person. Sachin, you're doing good seva. I feel it. Whole spirituality gets destroyed by ahankar. If the capacity to tolerate praise is a great capacity, but it's not just that. The capacity to completely ignore praise is even greater than tolerating praise. Completely ignore it. Sharir ko kaha, man ko kaha. Atma Tattva has nothing to do with praise and blame. Tulya ninda, stutiramauni, santushta, yena kena chita, aniketa, stiramati, bhaktiman me priyo naraha. You've heard this shlok many times also. We'll say it again 1,000 more times. And it has to be said again and again so that we can take this journey and ask Bhagwan Sri Krishna Paramatma to make it real for us. Iski reality open honi chahiye rather than simply just a lot of flowery language. Pushpitam vacha. Reality की बात अलग बात है. That is Satyam. That is Satyam. Just a couple more points. It's already 9 o'clock. I'll try. I'm sorry about going over every day. Sometimes I totally lose track of the timing. I know everybody's busy with work and other things. Shivam or Sundaram. Shivam, you know what is the meaning of the word Shivam? Its actual meaning means auspiciousness, mangalam, mangal. It has many meanings. Many. It has endless number of meanings. But Shiv in one sense means the Atma, life. There's only 2 things. There's Shiv and Shav. ये दोनों ही बात है. Any living being, every living being is Shiv. Body that is dead is called Shav. कितनी सीधी बात है. इसमें what is so hard about it? Shiv means there's Shakti, life force. The E sound, Shiv, Shivam. And that Param Shakti that is causing life, that is life, Jivan. That Param Shakti is Param Satya. Param meaning ultimate truth. इस अल्टीमेट शक्ति वो एक ही है. और वो जो शक्ति है, वो जो डायनेमिक पावर ऑफ गॉड, वो अत्यंत, इट इज द हाइट ऑफ सौंदर्य. इट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ ऑल ब्यूटीज. We say this mountain is beautiful, this dress is beautiful, this form is beautiful, this person. We use this word beauty, sundar, sundarta, saundarya. That actual, original, undifferentiated Shakti is Param Saundarya. Saundarya Lehri, scripture that is written, Ananda Lehri, the scripture written by Shankaracharya ji. We probably can understand Saundarya probably easier than Satyam or Shivam, because that is direct. If we see a beautiful, you see a flower, right? Rose, just as an example, background mein rose hai. Isiliye that rose is there. One of the reasons. Kitna sundar hai. What is anubhav kya hai hamara anubhav? The softness, the color, the smell, the thorns are gone and beautiful roses held in our hands. We offer it at the feet of Sri Krishna, at the feet of Shivji, put garlands of flowers and jasmine flowers. Because it is direct. वो सौंदर्य, that is, of course it is reflected, but that is a direct experience at the level of the senses. The Satyam and Shivam is much more difficult to touch at the level of the senses. But it can be touched through the doorway of Saundarya. So one of the ways to access that Satyam and Shivam is through the doorway of Saundarya. See, Srinivas ji, he's in the mandir right now. Oh, हमारा जो महालक्ष्मी जी का बहुत सुंदर मंदिर है. कितनी सुंदर सब भगवान के दर्शन. We can do the beautiful darshan there. See? So people are doing their seva. There's so many murtis. What is all this? This is Saundarya. This is exactly what we're talking about. Bhagwan के जो विग्रह है, at our first outlook, उसमें सुंदरता है. The murtis are made in a very beautiful way. They're dressed up very nicely, etc. This is called Saundaryam. That is a gateway. Because at the level of the senses, we feel, Bhagwan Krishna ka jo swarup hai, kitna sundar swarup. He's giving us the whole darshan of the bookstall and everything. You can see that on the video. Thank you, Srinivas ji. Very nice. You see, so this is how it's a doorway. This is how the Ishta Bhakti connects. Ishta Dev ki jo bhakti hai, इसमें जो सौंदर्य है, भगवान का जो विग्रह है, all the murtis, they are adorned beautifully with beautiful dresses, with very nice flowers and puja and archan. Why this is done? Why is that necessary? Because of saundarya. That is why it is necessary. That is the beginning. And then it expands. As bhakti increases, Navadha bhakti, the connection, mantra sadhana and dandvat and pranam and the attention on the purified and divine power inside. When attention is kept over there, energy is not wasted or lost, experiences continue, and then the Satyam and Shivam, they begin to open up. Actually, they open up through Saundarya. We say Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Sundaram is what leads to Satyam and Shivam. Because that is what we are directly in touch with. Abstract ideas about Satyam and what is real and what is not in philosophy and Tattvagnan. These things are intellectual to large extent in the beginning, and they're very difficult to make any head or tail of that. That comes later on. It will come. But we start with what is directly available to us. That is the only place we can begin. We cannot begin with something abstract and think that we will understand that. No. We have to start with what is in our direct anubhav. Beautiful flowers, trees, plants, beautiful murtis, ये जो सब भगवान के जो विग्रह है, these are all stone images, but they are not just stone, वो भगवान स्वयं है, प्रतिष्ठा हुई, उनकी उपासना होती है, with the bhav and with the mantras that ये पर ब्रह्म है, that is called ishta nishta, that is called the swarup, that is Mahalakshmi ji right there. Om Shrim Rim Shrim Kamale Kamalale Prasida Prasida Om Shrim Rim Shrim Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. See, so beautiful, beautiful murtis. Why? Because that allows us to do the upasana of Paramatma. Is God present everywhere? Obviously. But we are not at that level to see Paramatma everywhere. We will get there. Ishavasamidam sarvam yat kinche jagatam jagat. That is wo sthiti ki baat hai. Jab jivan mukta sthiti aa jati hai, jahan juve te ramaji biju na bhasare. Everything is Paramatma at that point. That we will get to that. We have to start. See this beautiful Radha and Sri Krishna Bhagwan. ये Hokasan में मंदिर है. This is in the Hokasan, Delaware. If you have not been there, please make a trip to go there. It's a pure Sanatan Dharma mandir. Entire Sanatan Dharma is, all the rituals and havans and everything is done. There's a beautiful murti of Gayatri Devi also in the downstairs floor. Yes, Sanatan Sanskriti. This is Sanskriti. And it is a matter of connection. It is a matter of how much connection is inside. Yes, that's what it's all a question of, right? So Saundaryam, and from that the scriptural knowledge becomes beautiful. Mantras become beautiful. See, Saundarya is present everywhere. Mantra chanting becomes beautiful. Bhajan kirtans are so enjoyable. I'll explain maybe tomorrow. It opens up the dimension of Anandamaya Kosh. मैं आपको बताऊंगा ये क्या है Anandamaya Kosh tomorrow. How that connects, and then from Anandamaya Kosh into the Brahman itself, that transition is there. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, how it connects into Jivan Mukta Sthiti, Prema Bhakti, the Vigrahas, the Sannidhis that are there, we can see them beautifully. Srinivas ji is in the temple right now, he goes to lots of temples. He's a great devotee. भगवान की बहुत कृपा है उन पर, सब पर कृपा है. मंदिरों में जाना, rather than wasting time in other things, मंदिरों में बहुत जाना. It's very, 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 very good. You know, it makes a lot of, और घर को मंदिर बनाना, so the difference goes away. Eventually, as I mentioned, closing में, remember the sadhana, I don't know if anybody did it. If so, I would love to hear from you. Share with others. Touch the tree in the park, that you're touching Bhagavan. Bhagavan का आशीर्वाद है इसमें. With bhav, with prem, with mahima. कि परमात्मा का स्पर्श, परमात्मा के चरण का स्पर्श हो रहा है. Can we do that? Touching a tree with that bhavana, with bhajans going on, is divine. वो दिव्य, योमाम पश्यति सर्वत्र, see me everywhere. Bhagavan Krishna says, yeah, you see the tree, but see me in that tree. ये साधना है. Okay, let's stop here for now. It's already 9:09. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha Om Uchishti Ganapate Namaha Om Vijay Ganapate Namaha Om Raja Ganapate Namaha Om Mahaganadipate Namo Namaha Om Trambakam Yajamhe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkamiva Bandhanan Mrittar Mukshya Mamritat. See, Divya Shivling is right there. This is very powerful. During Shivratri at the Hindu Mandir, fantastic full night program is there. Starts at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, goes until the next morning. You know, so if you have time, if you have not done that, gone for entire Shivratri, is coming up in like next month or something, 2 months or something like that. It's coming up soon. You know, so try to attend that. Ananda, Rudram, Chamakam, sab Pandit, unki sab seva hai. So with that, let's close here. Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namah. Om Aim Rim Glim Chamandai Viche Swaha.